Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Tayyab Tariq. I'm from PUCIT. Today my topic is to be presented is socket programming and threading in C Sharp. My group members are Arina Raza and Aniba Khalid. First of all, I will like to tell you about the threading, and then we will discuss in detail in threading in C Sharp, and then we will move towards the socket programming, and then we will move towards the socket programming and threading in C Sharp. So what is thread? A thread is defined as the execution path of a program. Just the simple example of the thread is that static void main, as we write in it. It is also a thread. Every program includes a thread and it is single threaded. We often have to use the multi-threaded programs when our executions and our program needs more and complicated executions and something else, just like sockets when there is a server and client, and the server needs to handle the multiple clients at a time, then we need of a multiple threadings. So moving forward toward the thread life cycle, I would like to tell you some important cycles of the thread. Just like the unstarted state, it is a situation when the instant of the thread is created but the start method is not called. And then after, when we call the ready, it is a situation when the thread is ready to run and waiting for the CPU cycles. As CPU processor includes multiple threads and it executes one thread at a time, so it involves a waiting and other life cycles in which the threads are run. The not runnable thread: a thread is not executable when sleep method has been called, or when the main method has been called, and when the block by I operation. For example, one thread is wants to write on the other thread or want to write on the file, and the file is not being opened, so it will wait for the file to be opened and then it's executed again. And the dead state, it is a situation when the thread completes execution or is aborted. Here is the program that I have written with the threading. For the threading in C Sharp, we have to include system.threading library in our project. Now I will like to tell you about my project that I have made on with the threading. I have made a class, public class alpha, in which there is a method public void beta, and in which there is a loop while true. It's running for the unlimited time, and in which I have written that alpha dot beta is running in its own thread. So while moving into the main, I have first made the object of the alpha class, and as we are working on threads, we have to make an object of thread, just like I have made thread, the name of a thread or thread, and the constructor. The constructor, and in which the constructor I have made new thread start, means the start of the thread, that from where the thread should be start. I have given there is a name O alpha, the object of the alpha class that I have made, and dot beta. I have, this line means that I have made another thread in which that function of alpha object is to be executed, but the thread is not start yet. When the compiler executes this line, then it will be executed. When this line is executed, then the thread is start, and as the thread is start, the main thread CPU has to execute the multiple threads at a time. So we have to, our main thread has to be wait till our another thread that we have made is completed as execution. So this loop is for this, that as far as the thread we have made is alive, you should wait there. And then we have made thread.sleep that I mail for 1 second our main thread to be wait. We can, and in this function I have also that all thread.abort means that I have aborted that my thread that I have made. And then I have used that authread.join. These are the functions calls, different functions call of threads that I have used there. So to tell you about the different functions of the threads, authread.join is used to join one thread with another. For example, I have used there authread.join, and this thread is joined with our main thread, and our main thread will wait until the execution of the auth thread is completed. And now I am going to tell you that auth thread.abort I have used first, and now I am going to start again auth thread.start. So now I will execute my program, and we will see the output. The main focus of our output is for this. So now I will start my first thread. This is the program, and now I have started this. So what is the output? Alpha beta has finished, and just thread start, stop, and join sample that we have written. Alpha dot beta has finished. Yes, as we have used a join, so alpha beta has finished, and then we come to our main thread, and then we will have to try to restart the alpha beta thread, and but the thread cannot, once a thread is aborted, it cannot be restarted again, and third state exception trying to restart alpha.beta expected since abort threads. So this is one of the sample of the from the C# that how the threads are working. So this is the one of the simple of the threads that I have tell you. And Microsoft C# has also has given other features with the thread looping, mutex, and monitor. So I have another project for you, and this is the producer consumer problem, in which the producer and consumers producers produces some items and the consumer consumes the items. So there can be some deadlock between the producer and consumer, so therefore we have used the threads in it, and we also have to synchronize the threads so to overcome the deadlocks and the other synchronization problems. So I have placed these worms in my samples, so you can take this from this and hopefully you will learn yourself. So now moving forward, I will go through the socket programming. What is a socket? A socket is a communication endpoint to which an application can write data and from which an application can read data. So basically the purpose of the socket is to communicate from one machine to another machines. So and one machine to another machine, and from the internet, all of the internets are using the sockets. Sockets basically works on IP addresses and the port numbers. So we will go through the socket programming by using C#. Though C# has initialized the system.net.sockets namespace, in which all of the APIs of the net frame of the sockets is placed, and basically we will discuss about the two sockets, basically sockets, the TCP sockets and UDP sockets. And the Microsoft has also proposed another feature, that synchronous and asynchronous. In synchronous modes, calls to the function that perform network operations such as send and receive, we will have to wait as soon as the sending or received is called. But in asynchronous, these calls are returned immediately. So now we will move forward quickly and discuss the socket programming using server client architecture. What first of all we will go through this server. What server has to do? Server has to make a socket, and then he has to bind that socket, and then server start listening to that socket, that if one client comes he will wait for the clients to that come, and then he will listens to their requests, and as the client come he will goes to the accept. And now move toward the clients. The client makes one socket and bind that socket to this port and calls a connect onto the IP address and the port on which the particular server is listening. So as the client picks that request, so now the connection is established between the client and server. This is the basically the architecture of the TCP. So now client can send and receive data from the server, and as server and client can send and receive the data. If there is a synchronous, then one will have to wait as other is sending the data, and vice versa. And if it is asynchronous, then we will have to then these calls are returned immediately. So how can we make our TCP server using C Sharp? The C Sharp library has API has proposed a TCP listener class. That socket listens to a TCP connection of the clients. It takes two arguments. One is IPA address. Actually, this is the object of the system.net, which is used to pass a string which has given a IP address, and it passes to the IP address that is particularly in which the TCP listener takes the arguments. And the second argument is the port, which takes an integer. So after this the server is made, we will have to start our server, and our server is listing the port number 13,000, and then server is waiting for the client to come, and as soon as the client come, the server makes the TCP client object and accept the connection from the client, and then the connection is established, and then he can use to send and receive the data as we will do. And how will we do the making of TCP client? So if we have to make a TCP client, we have to use a TCP client object, and we will have to give the address of the server and its port number, and then we will have to call the client.connect so that the client is being connected to the server. So we will have a program in which the server is running. So I will tell you. So this is the program that I have written, a TCP server, TCP listener, this object, and first of all I initialize it to null, and now we have to use in a try because it may be on the port that some other server is running or some other services are running, so therefore we have to wait. So I have, this is the IP address that I have to parse, and in 32 object in which I have initialized a port number, and then I have made a TCP listener, and then we are starting. As we are working on the network stream, yes, this is network stream because when socket the connection is established, there is a network between the server and the client, so we will have to use some stream for reading and writing, and that stream works on the bytes, so therefore we have made a bytes 256, means 250 bytes are transferred or for reading or for writing, and this is a loop in which after the server is starting it will waiting for the connection. So as we have tell that server.accept TCP client, as the client connects, a new TCP client, a new is TCP client is made in which the connection is established between the server and the client. Now I will read the bytes. I will read and I will read the network stream. Network stream client.getStream means it means that where the socket is has established a connection and a stream is established between the network stream for reading and writing. Now I will read from that stream, and this stream is read in the form of the bytes, and now I will have to encode these bytes into some of the ASCII or some of the Unicodes to read, and there is a data string in which the bytes are encoded into the form of ASCII characters, and then I will write that what I have received from this. And our server is doing that whatever the client is sent to us, we will parse into the upper and send back to the clients. Now we will have to send back to this client, and we will now have to encode these ASCII into the bytes, and just like this that I have done there. So this is our server, and now I will quickly move towards my client, and this is my client. So there is a Windows form in which I have taken a button. As I will click the button, the client is connected towards the server. This is the short client code that I will going to tell you about. That client socket is made, which is used to connect to the server, and I am passing this string I am server, and it will turn back into me to the in the form of upper characters. Now first of all I have to run the server. Now I have started the server. The server is waiting for a connection. Now I will run the client. Yes, the client is now running. As I will click on the button, this is the output that it has given me. I am server in the upper form from the client, and this is the server. You have seen that it has received IM server and it has sent IM server in the upper port. So this is all from us, socket programming and threading. And we have also I have also put some of the other projects into this, and one of the the main program in our is that socket programming plus plus multi-threading, a server that takes the multiple clients at a time, and for all of this, and the server can talk to multiple clients at a time. So this is very helpful for the client and chat server program in which the server is taking the multiple clients at a time. So this is the sum of the program of the server, and I will run it. I have used in it the thread. The server is started. Now I will click on my client to connect on this, and yes, the client is started. Now I will click on the button. Yes, this it said that one client is connected to the now server. As I will click on the button, another client is being connected to this. Yes, this you have seen that another client is connected to this. So now I will click on this, and three clients are now connected to the servers. So as I will click on the button, the servers, the clients are connected to the servers, and all of these servers are now running. As I can see this. So this is all from us. Hope you will like it, and if you have any problems, you can nail us at bcsf13m054@pucit.edu.pk, and I have put all of these codes for your help. Thanks. Allah Hafiz.